welcome to Tier List Tuesdays, and we just got under the cusp of midnight, so still it's technically on a Tuesday for at least the East Coast, but, just right under it, but that's okay. We are here to discuss something that is happening in less than a week at this point, which is the Oscars. The Oscars, the Super Bowl for cinephiles, as Liz would call it. We are here to talk about the Best Picture nominations. We are going to rank them from the ones we've seen, what you guys have said in the chat, what, relatives have seen if we have not seen certain movies. So we're going to be talking about all of that. We're going to have a good old grand time talking about the prestige movies, not the blockbuster, not the lesser peasant films. No, we were talking about prestige here. Anyway, of course, who less prestigious to talk about this than Dan, the prestige of the prestige. How are you, Dan? How is your day been? How is your Tuesday? And are you excited to talk about Best Picture nominations?
You know what I like to say? So it's got to be Tuesday somewhere. So Tier List Tuesday. Here we go. Oscars. Look, there used to be a time in the 70s or 80s, like before Star Wars kind of changed the game, and then Jaws and stuff, when the sentiment was even worse, that Oscars were super pretentious and most people didn't care about it because none of the movies they watched or cared about actually won at the Oscars. But I feel like so like history repeating itself in some ways. But there are a couple of movies that we'll talk about today. The Best Picture now. There's 10 of them now, as you know. It's been for a while now, the case, but there's a few that a lot of people saw. F1, Sinners, I feel like Hamnet picked up some steam in the last few months because of how many awards Jesse Buckley has won for it. Marty Supreme was like an underground cult hit. I think a lot of people have been kind of catching up to it. So really, I think Sentimental Value, Train Dream, some of those like international, movies, or quote unquote international movies, those are the ones that I feel like will probably be more flying under the radar. But One Battle After another one that a lot of people have probably seen. So and Frankenstein, it's on Netflix. Like, people who don't even go to theaters see it. Begonia has been on Peacock for a while, so you might have had a chance to see it. The Secret Agent is one I think a lot of people haven't seen but should see. And then we'll of course give you guys our Liz's thoughts on it, because she gave us her rankings, and while she's not here, we'll share her opinion with you too. So
just that
yes,
Tier List Tuesday rock music.
Yes.
But obviously,
hello to everybody in the chat.
Although we did want to say a little something for a certain somebody in this chat. We don't know if he's watching. We don't. Maybe he's lurking. But we did want to mention this. The last few Tier List Tuesdays have not been great in terms of the live event. So a certain somebody has kind of ruined it for the rest of us, and we will say right now, if that certain somebody ruins the live event today in regards to Tier List Tuesday, this will be the last time there will be a live event, because there's no point in doing this if we can't have fun with it, when somebody can just bring in like 12 alternate accounts and just ruin it for the rest of us. So if that is the case, we're not going to stop Tier List Tuesdays. We're just going to do our own personal lists and just kind of move on from there. And maybe we'll, gather what other people's opinions are in the chat. But we'll see if this live event gets ruined or not, and how we'll move on from there. So without further ado, let's get into last week's results, where we talked about Harry Potter films. A lot of discussion there. A very strange list, to say the least. But
because the three people kind of combobulated, like, or whatever the word is. Combobulated is not the word, but we sort of aggregated. Discombobulated is the word.
Yeah.
Like our picks. So discombobulated is probably a good way to describe what we ended up doing ultimately. But it was fun. It was definitely it was very spirited, a good spirited debate. Let's call it that.
So let's get into our personal list. First is Philosopher's Stone, and only Philosopher's Stone.
We did.
It is not
There's
called
so many
anything
of them,
else.
Yeah.
Well, 7 in S, 1 in
Mm-hmm.
A. We're not counting the D tier. Um, then we have for Goblet of Fire 3 in S, 4 in A, 1 in C. Then Chamber of Secrets 2 in S, 5 in A, 1 in B. Order of the Phoenix 1 in S, 4 in A, 3 in B. Deathly Hollows 2 in S, 2 in A, 1 in B, 2 in C. Deathly Hollows Part 2 3 in S, 3 in A, 1 in B, 1 in C. Then Prisoner of Azkaban 6 in S, 2 in B. And then finally Half Blood Prince 1 in S, 3 in A, 4 in B. So unfortunately, most votes and average vote don't really matter. Although Philosopher's Stone managed to be the one champion to be in B after, a certain somebody had to ruin the list for the rest of us. But here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this
But
was look, I loved episodes like the Harry Potter one because clearly we were all very passionate about it because we love those movies. So I think it's important that like that's the whole reason why this exists. And I think you guys in the chat were just as spirited about it, and that hence why somebody decided to like spam the poll, which again, if that continues to happen, like this would be like three strikes and out is I think that is our approach. So like, and it's not even just like, oh, like 3 weeks in a row. Like if that happens again, that's three strikes, and then it's unfortunate because like one person doesn't shouldn't ruin the fun for the rest of us. Like we want to have fun, we want to enjoy things. If you don't agree with it, that's okay. Cast your vote, but then also don't spam the chat for everybody else. Or because like even if we ban somebody on YouTube, the tier list link is like we can't that platform doesn't quite work the same. But speaking of which, John,
yeah,
let's talk about
unfortunate.
this week's. Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead. Sorry.
you
Yeah,
can, do it in. We put it in the live chat, so you can just do that.
it's also in
Yeah, it's
the
not a simple case of just banning somebody
yeah.
because how banning works on YouTube, they can still watch all the videos. They just
Mm-hmm.
can't comment on them or interact with anybody,
Yeah.
but they can still view it. They can still click on the links and go into this,
Yeah.
make 12 accounts
Exactly right,
and
dude.
ruin it for everyone else. So we will
Yeah.
see how this goes out.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, you guys picked this. 2026 Oscar Best Picture nominees. You guys picked it. Although Wolverine and Scream were very close. However, Wolverine is the only one that will be continuing into next week or next
They were tied at
Tuesday.
one point. Like Wolverine
Yeah,
and Scream were both tied at one point. So
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
But we're gonna see how Wolverine fares because if that wins, we might have to ask
Right,
you
MTG.
guys who
Yeah.
what because he only has 3 movies, 4 if you include Deadpool Wolverine, and the minimum for Tier List Tuesday is 5. So
So I
we'll
was thinking
see.
Days of Future Past, maybe if we did Wolverine.
Yeah,
That
maybe.
technically is mostly Wolverine movie. But no, I mean M2G. I think that's what we're planning. If this keeps happening again, what happened the last couple of weeks, then we'll just kind of use the chat on YouTube as that kind of like a vote, and then maybe that will become a part of the show. But obviously, I think you guys like, for example, the link is in the live chat. It's pinned to the live chat if you're watching live. If you want to vote for your tier list for tonight with the Oscars Best Picture nominations, the 10 movies we'll be ranking. The link is also in the description down below. So we want to do it that way because it gives you the ability to kind of vote for yours. We go over everybody's votes. We look at it. We take a look
Mm-hmm.
at like what the averages are and stuff and where everything ended up. But yeah, Ron has already voted. There you go. Awesome. Well, let's without further ado, John. There's 10 of them.
Yes, there are
10
10 of
movies that.
them. Perfect 10.
So again, and once just to kind of if you have had your head buried in the sand for the last however many years, basically at the Oscars the way it works, and again, it's a good reminder even if you do know, they've got a rule where they can nominate anywhere from 5 to 10 movies for Best Picture. 10 is the maximum, 5 is the minimum, and they've expanded. Obviously, they expanded it now. It's been like almost 15 years since they did that, or more than that
Mm-hmm.
actually. So
It was
this year,
2009 was I think the first
yes,
year where they expanded it to
right,
10.
exactly. And like I think like there were movies like Avatar, The Dark Knight, like that of the era, like where I think there was a lot of backlash about like why only 5 movies. Like I feel like it needs there more representation for genres that weren't very well
Exactly.
represented. But as a result, they've got 10 nominees this year, and we'll be going through all of them. There's a few that a lot of people probably saw, a few that not maybe a lot of people saw, but we'll rank them all. And like for example, Ron skipped a few that he didn't see, and so same as MTG. So you're welcome to do the same in the poll. But John, without further ado, let's get into the tier list. We got 10 of these movies to get into.
Yes.
10 of the best movies of the year as per the
Yes.
Academy.
Apparently, we're
So
just going to go in alphabetical order because that's the only really way.
that's
So the first
yeah.
one we have is Begonia, which is a remake of a South Korean film. And it's about a woman played by Emma Stone, a CEO who gets kidnapped by two conspiracy theorists who think she's an alien, and chaos ensues. So that is essentially what Begonia is.
That is a
very
wild
strange film.
premise.
I didn't get a chance to see it. Didn't look very interesting to me, but apparently it's great. Very weird, but good.
It is weird. It's
Save the Green Planet. Yes, thank you, Caleb. I forgot what the Korean film was called, but yes, that is what it was called.
I thought for me it was largely middling. Like the concept is very promising. The movie's kind of up and down, but it's like there's a lot of sex, there's a lot of nudity. I just don't think the messaging kind of got across to me. I mean, I think for me, I personally would put it in B tier. As far as my impressions of the movie, like how I walked away feeling about it. Right dude put it in A tier. That's, I mean, absolutely, I think for a lot of people it was a really good movie. I mean, that's why it's nominated. And Emma Stone could if Emma Stone wins for Begonia, she's gonna be like in some very, very elite company with like Meryl Streep and Frances McDormand and who I think Audrey Hepburn is the one who still has like the all-time record for the lead actress wins.
I think so. I think she might have the record for nominations. I'm not
sure. Okay, yeah. But I mean, a lot of you guys giving it an A. I personally put it in B. But
well, the thing is, I have no say. I have not seen Begonia, so I don't know.
Yeah.
However, from my dad has seen it. He thought it was fine. He like, I don't know where he would like rank it from like a rating point of view, but it was like he thought it was good. Then the ending he thought was a little bit off-putting, which it's one of those things where it was like it'll make or break for certain people, that ending. So he would probably put it in like B or C tier. I know that Liz put Begonia also in B tier, so I think it's a safe bet to put it in B tier. Like you put it in B tier, Liz puts it in B tier. My dad would probably put it in B or C tier. I'm putting my dad because my dad has seen most of these movies, the ones I have not seen, so I'm kind of bringing his opinion into this.
And also, again, talking about like Liz, we asked her, by the way, for the record, like we asked Liz what because Liz has seen most of these movies, minus I think a couple that she mentioned, and so she gave us her list of like where she would rank them. And so as we go along, we'll mention what Liz, and this is not, again, we're not making this up. We do have a list somewhere that I think, John, you have it on your end. That's why you'll be the one.
I have it right here. So this is Liz's picks right there.
So we'll go through them as we go.
Yeah. Next one that we have is one that Dan and I did not shut the fuck up about this movie when it first came out. Both
for very good reasons.
That it was nominated but then when I was really thinking about it, usually the Academy does nominate like a prestige blockbuster. Superman was not that movie, but F1, it was Apple. It has Brad Pitt. It's like kind of like, it's like higher than sports movie, but like it fits into their thing. It's not like comic booky or anything like that. So it kind of fits into what they were like kind of going for. Top Gun Maverick was another one that was nominated. Mad Max Fury Road was nominated. Like those kind of more quote unquote prestige blockbusters. Now I'm gonna take a wild guess that that we're both gonna put this in S tier. Because
it's easily S tier. I don't need to say anything else. This movie's fucking S tier, bro. Like it was
for me it's S tier. For me it was the blockbuster of the year. Of the year last year. I loved F1.
Absolutely.
I saw it on the big screen. I saw it in Dolby, even with all the. I've talked about this on the show when I did my review. Like there was like a whole bunch of like problems getting the screening done. Like it took an extra 30 minutes. It showed up muted, and then they had to roll it back, and then there was also. And then despite all of that, I still love the movie.
Yes.
Dan loved the movie. My dad loved the movie. The only one who didn't love it as much as all of us is probably Liz. She put it in A tier, but I think we outrank her, and we're gonna.
It's S tier. It's easily. It's like I'm an F1 fan today. Like not that. Look, I knew about F1. I followed F1 in the past. I was never but I was never like, a hardcore F1 fan. Now half of my YouTube
Well, just
algorithm
don't
is
put
F1
that's what I did
channels.
for my own personal
It's
list is I just didn't put in the movies I
yeah,
haven't seen. So if you haven't
exactly.
seen the movies, just don't put the rating in. That's
Yeah.
all.
Like some of you, like I think Ron was saying MTG, they're just kind of skipped a few that they didn't see. Like MTG saying F1 is a S tier prestige blockbuster in terms of the list. I gave it an A. I could see it as a B. I think between John and I, it's just easily S tier.
Yep.
A tier for Right Dude. Uh, it just it was a culture. It was the cultural zeitgeist movie of the year. Top Gun
Yeah.
Maverick was that when it came out. Barbie
Yep.
was that for the year. I mean, Super Mario Brothers. You could also think about it that way.
Hmm.
Last year, that was F1. Like today, even way more people watch F1 and know about F1. Like Apple turned like the success of the F1 movie and that
Into
collaboration, the
like getting the
relationship,
rights to show it
the
on
the
their
U.S. rights
Apple
to
TV. Yeah.
on Apple TV, which is huge. I mean, they were negotiating against ESPN, and ESPN didn't really go after it super hard, but like still, like it's a big coup for them. So, which actually I'm sort of like I can't talk too much about that because like I may be like sort of connected to that in some way now. But nonetheless, I have Apple like work conflicts of interest.
Yeah.
But F1 the movie is still amazing unto itself.
I loved it. Although
I was
speaking of
driving
movies,
today and listening to the soundtrack again. So
yeah.
yeah,
Speaking of
yeah,
movies that begin with
yes.
F that I loved was Frankenstein. This for me
Two things can be true at the same time, Caleb. Yes,
was just absolutely amazing. This was my favorite
yes.
movie of last year. I think it's my favorite to win. I thought Guillermo del Toro did an absolutely brilliant job. This is the movie that he's been wanting to make his entire career, and I don't know if it's his best movie. Pan's Labyrinth is probably his best movie, but this for me is probably my favorite. It's up there. I loved Pinocchio from a couple of years ago. Um, I think I like Devil's Backbone, Chronos, Pacific Rim. Like Guillermo del Toro has had an illustrious and brilliant career, and Frankenstein, I just loved it. I thought everyone did an
Yeah.
incredible job. Jacob Elordi was incredible. Mia Goth was great. Oscar Isaac was brilliant. Of course, Christoph
Oh,
Waltz. He's amazing in
amazing.
everything.
I mean, Oscar
Um,
Isaac I thought was amazing in this
okay,
movie.
hang on. Do not besmirch Shape of Water in this house. Let's get
Dude,
that perfectly fucking clear.
I have Shape of Water on Blu-ray. That's one of the most beautiful looking movies I've
Oh yeah,
seen.
Shape of Water was
It's
amazing. Like, come on,
it's wild.
it has
Like
naked Sally Hawkins in it. Get the fuck out of here. Come on, Caleb. Jesus Christ. At least give it for that. It's
you
got
thought
Michael
Dakota
Shannon in it. Come
Johnson,
on.
the Calvin Klein commercial with Dakota Johnson was hot. Like just wait till we
Yeah.
get a hold of Sally Hunter in Shape of Water.
But Hawkins, Sally Hawkins.
Hawkins.
But
Sorry. Not the grandma's peach. But never mind. I'm not gonna do the Zack Snyder reference.
anyway, that's Holly Hunter. Jesus
Holly Hunt.
Christ,
I'm
man. Come on.
confusing everybody today. It's late. See, it's
Um,
Wednesday somewhere, so
but I think
I'll also
well,
watch
that's just
Christoph
mean
Waltz
because
and
she's deaf.
anything.
So you're
Yeah.
actually you hate disabled people, Caleb. I'm just gonna say that. But for me, I don't know if you watch Did you watch
I
Frankenstein
think
yet?
Frankenstein is amazing. I put it in S tier
Hell yeah.
easily. It's
There we
also
go.
like look,
Like
Netflix made
it's tough for me. Like Frankenstein, I
it's
would say I liked Frankenstein more than
uh
F1, but I did love like it's like but like I think for me F1 was like number 4 or 5. I don't remember where it was, but Frankenstein was number 1 for me. But it's like it's not like a 1, 2, 3. It's like 1 and then like by a hair is 2, by another hair is 3, by it's just so close with my top
it's
5 and
one
top
almost like
10.
1A, 1B. Yep. Uh
Anyway, but
I
Frankenstein was
personally would
absolutely
have
brilliant.
yes. I put F1 ahead of Frankenstein, but I do
Yeah,
like I
but
think
like it's
Frankenstein
so close. I love
it's
both movies
yes.
so fucking
It's
much.
also personal preference, It's like
Yeah. And although
you're more of a
Liz
horror
also
fan than
put
I am,
it
so
Liz put it in
yes.
A as well.
Yeah.
So, but we outrank her. So, essence.
Frankenstein could potentially legitimately be the greatest movie
It
Netflix ever
might
made.
be.
Like
However,
genuinely,
Pinocchio was on
you know?
Netflix. You have The Irishman. You have, like David Fincher. You had The
Hmm.
Killer, which was on there, which was great.
Yeah.
Um, no, I was
I mean,
blown
no,
away with
Monique, you're
those
not.
visuals.
I think a
It's
lot
one
of
of those
people were.
cases where like
Yes.
the mix of practical production design and like digital,
Which
cinematography
Guillermo
like
del
actually
Toro is
worked.
the best in the business with that. Like
Yeah.
him and maybe Peter Jackson. I feel like, but Peter Jackson doesn't really direct anymore as much. So I think Guillermo del Toro is the standard, has been the standard, will be the standard,
Yes.
And whether it's Pinocchio or Frankenstein, I still go back to Pacific Rim. Like, and
I
you
actually have
have a
not
case
seen
study
Pacific
there,
Rim. I know.
dude.
Crazy. I
Fucking go
know.
see it, because there's a case study there about what great production design and cinematic like design language and the way you shoot the movie and how mixing, because the first Pacific Rim had a lot of CGI, but they also did all the right stuff. Like they did the right balance of practical along, special effects with CGI visual effects. And then you had the sequel, which did everything wrong, from lighting to cinematography to production design to like blah blah blah, like even to the point of like how the show scale and the action choreography and story beats, like in every which way you could see why Guillermo del Toro's approach is the superior way to make movies, because it just gives you a more immersive
Yeah.
storytelling
I
in
would
every
say
which way.
Pan's Labyrinth is
So
probably my favorite of his,
yeah,
but I think it's his best.
yeah,
Frankenstein might be like Frankenstein, Shape of Water. I think those are like
yeah.
more favorite for me, but I love
By the
pretty
way,
much have loved all of his movies.
I don't think
Even
Netflix.
Mimic, which was ruined by fucking
Yes,
Harvey Weinstein and Harvey and Bob Weinstein, I still think is a
I
good movie.
agree. Yeah. Uh, One thing I wanted to say about, by the way, I think we all agreed Superman should have been nominated in Best Visual Effects and not Jurassic World Rebirth. Just please. Uh,
Yeah.
but the point I was trying to make about Frankenstein, John, I don't think a Netflix movie has ever won Best Picture. Like, you remember they put everything on the
No.
line for The Irishman, and then that got completely
Irishman,
snubbed.
Mank was another one that was nominated, but
Yes.
that Mank was
Um,
I was very disappointed with Mank. I
I
was kind of in
mean,
denial, but it looked terrible. The digital
yeah.
cinematography didn't work with the black and white. It was so slow, it was so boring. Like Gary Oldman was good, but he's always good. Amanda Seyfried was very good, but it was not a very well
Right.
done
But
movie.
as far as Frankenstein, talking specifically about like the Netflix side, I'm thinking like odds of these movies winning. F1 I
Right,
think is there to represent, but not to win. Obviously,
right.
Begonia I just don't think has a chance. It's all about momentum. Begonia does not have that momentum. We'd be
No, it
very
does not.
surprised if Begonia won.
I would be very
Uh,
surprised too.
Frankenstein, I feel like might be Netflix's best shot, but it's still definitely very much a dark
It's
horse.
still like that's like kind of
So,
like that's an underdog choice.
but I mean,
Possible, but not
it's like,
likely.
but Guillermo del Toro has a lot of clout and with the Academy. Like he's won Best Animated Feature with Pinocchio. He's won for Pan's Labyrinth before. I think Pacific Rim even got like some love at the Oscars, not maybe in the big categories, but Train Dreams is Netflix. Although I don't know if Train Dreams is like Netflix in the sense that it's. I don't know if Netflix made it or fund it. But anyway, um, yeah,
Um, but yeah, now we can move on to kind of from kind of stranger movies to more like bread and butter in regards to um what the Academy likes, and that's Hamnet, which is, Shakespearean period drama, has some romance elements, It's definitely one of the more typical Oscar fare. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, it's just like it's very much like what the Academy likes. It checks all those boxes. I'm not saying it's a
but
bad
it's a
movie. I've
great
heard nothing but
movie.
amazing things about, but
No,
you know.
but it's like a lot of the love that it's getting, I think, is well deserved. Like
Yeah,
it's a great movie. It's not a big blockbuster by any means, but the fact that Jessie Buckley has swept the Best Actress category at every major award show leading up to the Oscars not only confirms that she's most likely to win the category and she's the overwhelming favorite, but it's a very poignant story. Like you said, it's the typical Oscar winning Oscar bait kind of a movie. Like The King's Speech, I think is another example of the kind of movie. I think that is, to me, in my mind, this feels like a close comparison with that. Not in the
yeah, because King's Speech is
subject
another
matter,
great movie, but it checks all the
but
boxes that they like.
it's like an
So
actor's movie, like Jesse Buckley wanted to put in a great performance as an actor, and Hamnet was the movie to do that. Like
right,
Nomadland was the movie to do that. Frances McDormand won for that. So yes, but MTG, exactly. Netflix bought Train Dreams off the festival circus. They didn't really produce it, but obviously, they're gonna be the ones. They have been the ones
right,
behind the Oscar campaign, the for your consideration campaign for it. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, Hamnet, I think, while it won the best British movie award at the BAFTAs, I don't think it won the best movie overall.
Okay.
because they have like multiple categories to the BAFTAs, but it's a British movie, so it makes sense. I don't think it's gonna win Best Picture, but it's definitely a worthy contender. I
So where would you put it here?
personally, I personally put Hamnet in A tier for me because
Okay.
it's a different kind of A tier, like in the sense I
So
think
Liz put it in
it's
S tier. It's one of the two
yeah.
movies she put in S tier. It's my
Um,
dad's favorite. Like he loved Hamnet. He thought that was his. I would assume it's S tier or at least A tier. So I don't know
I'm
where you
willing
would
to
want to
give
put it based on that.
I'm
So,
willing to concede because I'm not the biggest Shakespeare fan, and I know like Hamlet is not Shakespeare per se.
but it's
Uh,
Shakespeare-esque. It's
Tyrion,
Shakespeare
yes,
adjacent. So
yes,
it's not
yeah,
Shakespearean, but it's about the guy
yeah.
allegedly. It's like
And
who knows
you
what
know what?
this.
They don't exactly, but they don't tell us the ranking of the ballots. But movie spud, I don't think you're off the mark that if we actually found out like where it ended up getting in terms of like the total number of votes, I wouldn't be surprised to see that Hamnet might have been in the top three, probably right behind, And again, don't know this yet. There's still a chance it wins, but I think it ultimately probably is that number three behind One Battle After Another, Sinners in no particular order, like between those two, or those three. I think that's a firm third right now with momentum. If it won somehow, I don't think anybody would be
I mean,
mad
everyone
at it.
said Paul
But
Mescal was,
yeah,
robbed of a nomination. So,
yeah, like a snub, total snub. But yeah,
yeah,
it's about Shakespeare. It's about his wife. The story of
yeah,
him. Yeah, it's which
allegedly.
the story is kind of. I mean, again, yeah, it's a little bit of a folklore mixed in with some
Like
part of
historical fiction kind of
historical fiction. So
thing.
yeah, but it is
Um,
a heart wrenching kind of a story to
but
kind of
yeah,
watch and sit through. So yeah,
so I'll put it in S tier. Like I've heard great things.
yeah.
It's not my type of movie. It's kind of depressing with the sun
I
and all
mean,
that. So it's
but
just not
it's
my
about the human
thing.
condition. Like I related to it because like there's been a lot of grief recently with like personal life, like people
Right, of
and like
course.
Zelda passing away. So it's like you could relate to that, and it's like when movies reflect that part of your life, it's like the movie holds up a mirror to you and about what life is. And then in the movie you could sort of kind of go beyond that and maybe talk about it in a more abstract sort of
Right.
way, like Ethan Hawke talks about it, right? Like we may not think about movies and stuff, but like somebody we love dies, or like
For me,
like
that was
we break,
Yeah, for me that
we
was the
suffer
movie. I don't know
heartbreak
if you
for
know
some
if anybody
reason.
remembers this movie, but The Night House. The
So
Night House was a big
yeah,
one for me because that was about grief
yeah,
of a loved one and how it's done in a horror kind of supernatural kind of
right.
way, but like with how it nails the thought process and the
Mm-hmm.
feelings you're going through, it did that so extraordinarily well. I think that's the best in terms of I have seen of a movie dealing with a death of a loved one with the emotion you feel during that movie. Because like I remember I watched that movie a couple months after losing someone in my life,
Yeah.
and like watching the movie, it's just like everything. It was like everything I was feeling was personified during that
Mm-hmm.
movie. So that could be for someone with this movie, like how that's dealt with. So we all have that movie of like how, oh,
Yeah.
this is how I feel, and this
Mm-hmm.
movie literally perfectly explains what
Yeah.
I'm feeling in regards to that feeling of death and
It's
the love you have of
yeah.
someone of that death. Like it's done
It's
well.
not trigger
No, it's
throwing.
not a sequel to The
It's
Green
not.
Knight. Although Green Knight is a great
Um.
movie, but very different
A
movie.
very different thing. But like I was gonna say, like for me, I'm gonna drop a reference that a lot of, I mean, maybe if Yash is watching somewhere, but like it's Kal Ho Na Ho, which is a Bollywood movie that came out in 2003, deals with like grief in a way that I think always connected with me because I've been watching it since I was like a kid. So,
Right.
um, but there's always everybody has a movie, right? Like I think there's maybe one or two. I think Titanic is does that for me in some ways too because it kind of talks about love and loss in a way, which I mean, it's not like the whole movie's about it, but it and there's some romanticism to it, but the way the movie ends, it's sort of poignant in a way that feels very like it's real, like like she held on, like I don't know, now I'm digressing, but the point is we all have those movies. I think Hamnet is a great one, and it's a great addition to a lot of people's lists. So yeah, I think Liz, and like you said, your dad loved it. S tier I think is completely valid,
Yeah.
considering what else we have up there. So yeah,
But yeah, next up we have Marty
that's
Supreme. I know this
Wakanda
is
Forever,
kind
another
of
one.
the the black sheep now, considering everybody hates Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, Monique.
But for me, I loved Marty Supreme. This was in my top 10 of the year. I thought it was, kind of the good, the bad, the ugly in regards to the pursuit of greatness, kind of like what
Hmm.
Whiplash was, but even more, at least like
I mean, dude,
Miles
we
Teller's
just
character in Whiplash was kind of like a sympathetic character. Marty Supreme is
yes,
just a piece of shit, and
but
he's just kind of a loser, a pathetic
yes,
loser, and he's just kind
yeah.
of, going through life, kind of like trying to pursue this like weird thing, and it just like you wouldn't think that this is like a prestigious guy. It's about ping
Hmm.
pong. It's like, because that's what everyone's saying after Timothy Chalamet infamously said, oh, he fucking said all that when he made a fucking movie about ping pong.
Like
It's a really
all the
fucking good movie about
but like
ping
all the
pong though.
aura around it has dissipated because of
um
that, which is like insane. But like A24 treated this movie in like all the ways that you treat a prestige movie that gained an underground following when it released,
it's the
and the
highest
release
grossing
strategy.
A24 movie now. It
Yeah,
got
I
over
mean,
$100 million.
those limited releases before they went wide were like sold out everywhere. Like, and it generated this insane word of mouth that when it did release wide across the globe, like you said, it became A24's highest grossing movie, more
Yeah.
than Everything Everywhere All at Once, more than Civil War. So,
Yeah.
um, and I mean, Ron says they could win him the Oscar. I mean, he's won several awards on the on the circuit so far, the award
Yeah, I
season.
think he
But
won Critics' Choice
A tier,
and a
yeah,
couple others, but I think it's definitely an award-worthy
not the actors award.
performance.
Michael B. Jordan won
And
that. Yeah,
I was shocked with how much I love this movie, because
yeah.
I thought it was an interesting. I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. Oh, and then I heard like kind of the buzz about it. So I'm like, oh, now I'll definitely go see it. And I was shocked.
Yeah.
It's not everybody's cup of tea. It's very weird. It's I know everybody hates Josh Safdie for being a piece of shit, which fair. But it still is, it like, I know it's fun to shit on this movie because of Timothy Chalamet. It's a movie about ping pong. It's weird. It's by a director who allowed like sexual, almost near sexual assault on his fucking set. So it just, there's a lot of controversy about this movie, which is a shame, because it's a phenomenal movie. Like I don't think it's like S tier. I don't think it's perfect. I would put it in A tier. I
I
would
put it in A
personally
tier
put it in
too.
A tier.
And I'm
Um,
not the biggest like fan of Timothy Chalamet. I think he's a little overrated, but I still think this is an A tier movie.
I think
Um,
it's great. And like
yeah,
this is a case of like a protagonist that's
yeah,
not supposed to be likable. Plus, Tyler the
right,
Creator's in it, so like, how can you hate it,
yeah,
right? So
yeah. Georgie's back.
um,
I mean, it's also like we're living in a year where like the whole Lindsey Vonn thing happened. Like, so like athletes are not every, I mean, some athletes will take their dedication to an extreme, and whether it's a public perception thing or maybe that's just who they actually are as people, like they're not maybe the
sure, but
most
wait, how
likable
do we give
characters.
you
But
the $25?
um
Like, or are you saying, oh, it doesn't matter, just like one of us has to do a 25 super? Well, it's just like that doesn't make sense, because then we're putting it back towards us because we're getting the $25. I would say
except
if you got
YouTube
Venmo
takes
or
their
Cash
cut.
App,
So,
just send it to us, and then send it through
yeah,
Instagram, and then we'll give you $25. How about that?
yep.
I'd do that
Hmm.
bet.
I'll take it.
I'll take
Takes it,
that
and you
deal.
take.
Damn good deal. All right.
Well, I'm
So,
on the side of Michael B. Jordan, so I'm on that side of the bet. So
but here's the
yeah,
thing. The problem with this, after his ballet comment, I don't think he's gonna get it anymore. I think he screwed
because
himself.
guys, remember the Oscar voting hadn't finished yet. Like the polls, the ballot was still open. So I think he genuinely probably hurt his chances because people might have, who might have not have voted yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I reject that, because I think now Michael B. Jordan's probably gonna win.
It's also like
Um,
not maybe the majority of the people had voted, but still maybe enough people changed their minds or like before they cast their ballot that maybe it swung in favor of Michael B. Jordan. And also Michael B. Jordan, you got to remember the Actors Award he won for Best Actor. There are a lot of
mhm.
actors, and like MTG was saying in DCU Daily, the actors part of the Academy is the biggest voting block. So the Actors Awards have always been a big
Mhm.
indicator of who's going to win at the
I got what you're
Oscars
saying,
because of
finger
that.
drawing. I
So
got what you're saying.
yeah.
But also, by the way, Liz put Marty Supreme in B. But we outrank her, so A it
Yeah, I mean
is.
two A's, one B. I think it makes sense.
It's
Yeah.
good. It's good. And now I'm not gonna win this. Speaking of battles, I'm not gonna win this battle. I have gone on and said I did not like this movie. I thought it was poorly paced, for the most part, poorly acted. I thought the story was not terribly interesting. I thought there was a good story in there that they should have went with, but they didn't. I liked Chase Infinity. I liked Benicio del Toro, but for the most part, I think this is not a good movie. It's probably gonna win. It's between this or Sinners. I think with how One Battle After Another fits into the idea that what people like. I think it's gonna get it. Um, I just did not care for this movie. I think it was like I've seen 3 PTA movies at this point, and I have not liked any of them. So I think Chase Infinity was definitely snubbed. I think she should have got a supporting instead of nominating 2 for the same fucking movie. She should have gotten it, but that's just me. Um, I would probably put it in
I don't
C or
think
D tier.
I
Like I
don't think
just did.
Leo. No, go ahead. Sorry, finish what you're saying. Yeah.
No, I just think this for me it's C or D tier. I'd say D tier. Like I just did not care for this movie at all. Like it was one of those movies that got worse and worse the more I thought about it. So I know I'm on an island there, but that's just my opinion.
Well, look, I put it in A tier because I remember right before we started the show, I literally was telling you like of all the movies that DiCaprio did not get a Best Actor award for, and they got it for Revenant, which I think was deserving in many respects, but also like I think he's done better movies than Revenant, like in terms of movies that he should
Right.
have won an Oscar for. I don't
Right.
think One Battle After Another is one where Leo put in his like Oscar-winning performance. Can he get it?
No.
Sure. I don't think he should be like even odds with Michael B. Jordan. I think Michael B. Jordan, by
No.
the way, is superior. Hello, Steven, in the chat. I still put it in A tier because I thought the Sean Penn character was so dislikable. Like his performance made like I think there's a little
I
meta in
thought
like
it
your
was
reaction
way
to it.
too over the top. It was
You
just too
think so?
silly.
But
Like it
like
was just too like
it's
in a very
I can
grounded
see
kind of movie. It
that.
just didn't work for me. It just
I
was
agree with
so
this, by the way,
silly.
Birdman. Like I understand what you're saying, John. But like in some respects, it was like haunting. Dude, the world that we live in is surprisingly like there's surprisingly dumb people in charge in a lot of
No, I know.
places.
I'm not saying, but
So,
like, I mean,
and
that's
in
the whole
that
point. Because
respect,
it's like, get it
it's
because
holding a mirror to the world. Like this
I
movie
get
to
it, but like,
me,
this is still a movie, and you're setting up a tone for the movie, and
for
you set up
sure.
this very
Here we
grounded,
go.
realistic tone, and then you just have this like cartoon character who's like acting like a dumbass, and it's just like, I get there are people who exist in the real world who act like that. I get that, but like,
Yeah.
you're setting up this tone, you're setting up this world, and then you just have Sean Penn acting like a fucking moron, and who's acting like a like fucking Elmer Fudd or something, and it takes you out of it. Like it's Benicio del Toro was kind of
I
like
don't.
that at
I
times
think
as
it's a
well,
bit
where
of
he
an
was kind of a little bit
exaggeration.
over the top, but at least Benicio del Toro kind of reined it in a lot of the
I thought
time.
Benicio del Toro was the ultimate cool guy. I just loved. He was the most fun character in the movie, and
Oh
I actually
yeah,
thought Leo's character was like the perfect kind of balance of oh shit, this dude is like actually trying to like he's kind of like underwater most of the movie, but at the same time his character like brought the fun when it was because the movie's subject matter hits so close to home with the world that we're living in. I mean, today the headlines are different right now in the real world, but when this movie came out and everything was going down like Minnesota and before that like in other like LA and stuff, I'm like this movie was hauntingly like holding a mirror to us, especially in America. And like I told Fiona the night after we watched it, I'm like, that movie was disturbing in ways that I didn't think it would be. And there's very few movies that have ever like gotten that reaction out of me, which I think, like you said, is part of the point. But I think the
I
fact
mean
that they
that's
executed
it
so
was
well on it
it's a for me
speaks
it's
to
a
that idea.
bad movie that came out at the right place and the right time. That's exactly what it was. It like
Yeah,
it's like
I agree. I
oh,
agree
it
with you,
holds
Vinny.
it right place, right time. Does that make it a good movie? No, but it's what it is. What it is.
I
So
put it in A tier because I do think that it's deserving of a lot of the merit that it's got. And look, Sean Penn, like here's the thing, I can say he played the hateable Garrett. Like I know you said like he's a little over the top, and there's some aspects of that in this movie. But I feel like in some like if that's what you're gonna exaggerate a little bit to like kind of lighten the mood in some ways, which again not exactly like it wasn't like his character was the comic relief of the film, but I think it's A tier personally. I thought this movie like wow. The only part about this movie that I didn't really care for all too much was the character. Why am I forgetting? Tiana Taylor.
yeah, Tiana
Taylor.
Taylor.
I just didn't like her. I mean, her not just her character, but like it's all the like you know how Liz hated the marketing for Wicked with um Ariana Grande and why am I forgetting the name,
Cynthia Erivo.
Cynthia Erivo, and all the green and pink and the artificial nature of like that whole situation and how they kind of like marketed the movie. I just feel like everything that the Tiana Taylor should not have won as many awards. I think like Chase Infinity probably deserved it more, but I also agree. I think you fundamentally disagree with the direction this movie takes. But it's also like partly I think is like PTA like very much made a conscious decision to go with the direction that he does with this movie. I also thought that at the beginning of the movie, I thought the movie was going in a different direction than it did, and the big like the halfway mark of the film, I was kind of concerned that my expectation that I had for it was being subverted in the wrong way. But by the end of it, I was like, this thing was a hauntingly realistic look at the world that we live in right now, at least in the U.S. Um, but yeah, I put it in A tier. I mean, I'll digress. I digress. But like, I put it in A tier. I don't know where you
No,
put
I'd
it.
put it in like,
So yeah.
you know, Liz put it in A tier as well. I would put it in like D tier. My dad also did not like it. He did not care for it. He would probably put it in like C or D tier. We could try to meet in the middle with B tier. I don't know if that's good enough. We
I'm
kind of met.
okay with I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm not that beholden to the movie. I'm not gonna be dependent to that point. Like again, this movie, I think for me, a lot of the A tier is the visceral reaction that it created out of me. Which, like you said, some of it is just it's a timely movie, but I think that's also part of the point. You know, like but even that is hard to kind of get right. What was that movie that was with the Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal that also came out that was about the pandemic?
Eddington.
Uh, Eddington. Like you see like how that movie did not get the balance right. Where like at least to me, like it didn't generate the kind of reaction this movie did. It's like even making a movie that feels timely is hard to do sometimes, like you know, and get the reaction intended reaction or reception. So in that sense, yeah, I think yeah, B tier is okay. B tier is okay. I mean,
Okay.
and it's for the record, it has been winning the majority of the Best Picture awards so far in the award circuit. So
Yeah,
that
unfortunately,
it
but
makes it a heavy favorite at the Oscars. Even though I think Sinners ultimately I think it's kind of flipped the tables of the last couple of weeks. So
yeah.
yeah.
But next up is one of the two international films
Hmm.
this year that has been nominated for Best Picture in addition to international, which maybe
Yeah.
is a little bit unfair, but that's an argument for another day. But The
I feel
Secret
like that's an
Agent
outdated category division, but
Wagner
yes, it's a
Moura.
bigger conversation. Wagner Moura,
But
role of a
did you see The
lifetime.
Secret Agent? Because I have not seen The Secret Agent.
I haven't seen it all the way through, so like I'm gonna lean a little bit on like some of the reviews I've seen and the people that I've talked to who have seen it.
Yeah.
And this movie, it's the kind of thing where if this starts winning some of those big awards, like Wagner Moura won, I think the what was it,
I
the
think it won the Golden
BAFTA,
Globe.
the Golden Globe, and then I think like Secret Agent got snubbed in a couple of the big, I forget which one, like the international movies kind of got snubbed, but there's a chance this movie can walk away with couple two of the biggest awards of the night, with
It could.
best actor, and there's a bigger block of international voters in the Academy now than ever before, and they make a significant minority yet, but still, and the
Right.
Academy has voted for movies like Parasite in the not too distant past. So, and that's not the only example. That's just one of the examples I'm pointing to right now. So I
Right.
think Wagner Moura as a secret agent, it's not really the movie that's being talked about right now, but I would not be surprised if he walks away with the Oscar for Best Actor, and then if this movie somehow pulls the upset of the night with Best Film. So I
Right.
personally, I put The Secret Agent in A tier for me. I think again,
Okay.
it's
Well,
not
Liz
like it
did not
didn't
see this one. This was one of the
one
two
battle after
that
another.
she
So yeah.
did not see, and my dad actually did not care for this one. He found the movie to be a little bit tonally all over the place and found it to be very confusing how it goes
Mm-hmm.
back and forth between present and
It's on
past.
Hulu.
So he just was like, it's a good movie that was impeded by the confusion that, and it also didn't help that it was a foreign movie and you had to pay attention to subtitles. So there was a lot of confusion aspects to it. So he would probably put it in C or D tier if I were to take a guess. Um, but but yeah, I don't know if that
Yeah.
matters because he's the closest I have to like me giving my own opinion. So I'm
Right.
like, that's why I'm throwing him into the ring as well.
So
So
Liz didn't see it.
Liz
Your
didn't see
dad
it.
would put it in B tier.
He would
I
probably put it in like C or D
C
tier. He
tier.
really
Okay.
did not. Maybe C. Let's be
Okay.
nice. Um,
Well, I mean,
so
I put it in A tier, so I don't know like what that averages out to. Like, do we
you
split
could
the
like put it in
difference?
B tier,
B
like
tier.
another
Okay.
meeting in the middle
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. Maybe guys like help us out here. Like I don't know. So M2G said A or B. So I don't know what else anybody has to say about this, but I don't know if anybody else saw it. But I'd say play it safe. Put it right in the middle. B tier. I think that's a safe
I'll
bet.
take MTG's word for it. I think well, I think B tier is probably the consensus at this point. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good place to
Oh,
leave it.
yeah.
But if you haven't seen it, it is on Hulu, like Movie Spud was saying. So definitely go check it out. I mean, check out all of these movies. I think most of these movies are streaming now. Like there, you can
Yeah, I
find, and
think
we'll
they're.
see
I
if we
mean,
can.
Train Dreams and Frankenstein are on
Yeah,
Netflix.
yeah,
F1 is on Apple. I
yep.
think M2G said this was this was on Secret Agents on Hulu. No, Movie Spot said it was on Hulu. Sorry. Um,
Begonia's
and
on Peacock, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, One
And
Battle
then
After Another's on HBO Max.
Hamnet is also on Peacock. So
Marty Supreme. I don't know what that's on, but yeah.
I think it's HBO Max. Let me look this up real quick.
No, it's not. You have
Uh
to pay for it on,
oh,
like for like
okay,
$20 on various things. So unfortunately, Marty Supreme's the one you
okay.
can't really see, but that's
Well,
that's
I mean, you
okay.
can rent it. You can rent it digitally, like if anything.
All right,
So there you go. I
but
mean, 20
yeah,
bucks, like
next one.
it's to buy it. Yeah.
And sentimental value. This is another one I haven't seen, so I can't judge.
Uh, Similar situation for me. But like this is one where one of well, I know somebody who personally like who saw it, and I mean, Stellan Skarsgård, yeah, one of the best performances of his career, which is why I think a lot of people are sleeping on him
Wait, so have
for
you seen it, or have you only seen like bits and pieces?
no. Somebody I know personally has seen it, and I think like based
Okay.
on what they told me, like this is people are sleeping on Stellan Skarsgård, with what you know
I don't
for on
know
this
about
movie and
that.
his
He seems
performance.
to be winning. He won quite a few awards for this, so
No,
I don't know.
sleeping on like well, I'm saying like in the because it's been a mix, right? This is one of those
Yeah, I know.
category.
Supporting has been a mix,
So
so
because like and they got snubbed. I think this movie got snubbed at the Golden Globes just trying to start things off, but then
no,
it's sort of
Stellan
like
won for that. I thought he
actually
won the
no,
Golden
I'm
Globe.
not thinking of the gold. I'm thinking of a different award show. Golden Globe he won for that, and then this there was an award show where they snubbed all the international nominees. Uh, it's been a
BAFTAs
long
or SAG
uh
maybe.
no, BAFTA's definitely nominated them. But I mean
Critics'
between this
Choice, Writers
Critics'
Guild,
Choice
Directors
could be
Guild.
yeah, but regardless, between this and Chernobyl and Andor, even Dune,
I mean,
uh,
Stellan has been a force of
Stellan
nature for a while,
Skarsgård,
so
yes, that's absolutely
um,
so.
but
Yeah.
um, Liz put sentimental value in B tier. And
Hmm.
then keep in mind, fun fact about my dad is that he doesn't see every nomination of like every movie across all 20 something categories, but he does try to see the best picture nominations. He's been doing this since the 80s. I think
Hmm.
1982, 1981 is when he's been doing this.
Yeah.
So, and he has said about sentimental value, he said out of all the movies, out of all the nominations that he has seen for the past 40 something years, Sentimental Value was easily the worst nominee he has ever seen, period, next to Triangle of Sadness. He said it was absolutely one of the most dumb, pretentious, artsy piles of shit he had ever fucking seen, and he absolutely hated it. He's like, this was like one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and I'm like,
Well, the
damn.
friend, well, my friend gave a very different account of the movie,
Yeah.
but
So my dad would
uh,
probably put this in F tier, if F tier
wow.
existed. But yeah,
I
he
mean,
absolutely hated this movie.
by
So
the
I
way,
can't judge it. I have not seen it, so I don't know. But
so I figured out which so the Actors Award snubbed him for best
Actors
supporting
Award,
actor.
okay,
The ACTA SAG Awards. I mean, they also I
okay,
think snubbed a lot of the other international movies,
yeah.
but Appearance from dad. We do demand it. Like, why don't we get your dad on the show sometime?
I'm sure
I
he
will
wouldn't
say
mind. I
though.
mean, he's always wanted to be like what? So what do you? Because he always asks questions on like, I want to know, I want to see you, I want to know what you fucking watch and all that shit. Da, 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 da. So maybe I'll finally, bite the bullet and send him this. I don't know, but
Yeah. What is your dad's best picture win of all time, John?
a favorite all time. Oh my god, I don't fucking know that one. It's probably The Godfather if I were to take that or Shawshank Redemption, one of the two. If I knew that, I mean that's like two of his favorite movies of all time. So if I had to take a guess, but yeah, in terms of like the how when he's since he's been doing seeing all the nominees, it's probably Shawshank Redemption. Of all time, it's Godfather maybe, but he kind of flops back and forth between the two. So yeah,
Well, I don't know if Stellan Skarsgård is gonna win at the Oscars for Best Supporting
I
Actor,
he might, he might.
but
We'll see.
like I put Sentimental Value in B tier for me,
Okay,
based on what my friend said.
I'll put it
So
in B tier because both you
yeah,
and Liz put it in B tier. So
yeah.
now, oh boy, here we go. Can we Okay, so do we just put this
Oh,
in S
hello.
now?
Yes, we
I
should.
mean,
S is for
just like yeah,
sinners.
let's just
It's
okay, yep.
yep.
That's we're just
That's
gonna
about that's
yeah.
it's
I'm gonna put it right there.
I don't think we. I mean, we could talk about. Let's talk about it. I mean,
We can
sinners.
talk
I
about it,
think
but let's just put it in S tier. Let's just like do that,
it's
and we're good.
yes.
Yeah.
Just start there. God tier for M2G. Like that's. Is there a G like we could put above S? Like let's see if we could. Uh, the G tier. That would be fun. But yes. From the cinematography to the soundtrack to the direction to the writing, to just telling a an authentic, culturally relevant,
Hmm.
story that is both a period piece and a horror movie, and an action thriller that becomes like a body horror. It's
It
just there's so much
Ryan Coogler said, he
in
said
this
it was a
movie.
genre fluid movie. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's like this is kind of a little bit of everything. So I mean, Liz put it in S tier. My dad, he said he loved everything about this movie except for the vampires. He's like, if there were no vampires in this movie, it would be S tier. And I'm like,
But like that's
that's
so central to the movie's story. It's
yeah,
kind of
that's
hard
he's like if
to.
it was a he's like he said if it was a movie about two brothers opening a juke joint in the KKK controlled South, he's like that would have been a better movie, but you got to throw in the supernatural element to like get people to watch it. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
think that's wrong, but that's just me.
I mean, dude, Miles Caton in this movie, who plays Sammy Moore,
Oh my
is
god, he was. I hope he has a bright career ahead of him. He was so fucking. I don't because I don't know if he's like just a singer and he just kind of did this because he was a great singer in
I'm like
this,
that
a
boy's voice
musician.
be deep. Like
Pfft, that dude sounds deeper. That dude's younger than me. He sounds deeper than I do right now. Like my god, like holy shit.
he was deeper than Michael B. Jordan was in Haley Steinfeld in the movie. I mean, his voice was anyway. Sorry, never mind. That's late night elements coming into play here, but like, uh, there was some abstraction to the movie in terms of
Yeah,
like the themes and stuff, which makes you
the
think. But
themes.
that makes the movies one that you gotta watch a few times. Like, there's aspects of the movie you will never understand in just the first watch. So, yeah, he was a backup singer for her. Oh, okay. Uh, yeah, the vampires didn't make it what it is. You're right. Question from Ron though, guys in the chat: do you like Sinners or Black Panther more?
Sinners,
Ooh,
sinners, 100%.
I still think Black Panther to me kind of
I
is
didn't care. I just
yeah.
thought it was a mediocre Marvel movie, but it. But
I have a
everyone
high,
liked it
but
because
I
of.
know there's established like there's established that I really have much higher. I hold
Although
Black
I
Panther
will
in much
say
higher regard.
Creed,
So
I would say for
yeah,
me, out of the Ryan Coogler movies I've seen, is Sinners, then Creed, then Black Panther. I have not seen
yeah.
Fruitvale Station or Wakanda Forever, so I don't know about those.
The fact that this movie had like this end credits or like this epilogue scene that people just
Is it
wanted to turn
important?
into a
Yeah, but
movie
if
unto
it's
itself,
good,
like
not really. But that's okay.
um no figured I agree with figure drawing on that. I think like in terms
No,
of cultural
no,
relevance,
I don't know.
but that aside, we're talking about Sinners.
But yeah,
This holds now the record for, and by the way,
most
both are
nominated.
the most nominated movie of all time at the Oscars. It could potentially become the most winning movie at the Oscars of all time. It could potentially have the, like the
We'll
record that
see.
Lord
We'll
of the
see.
Rings had,
I mean, I
or
hope
has,
because horror it
and
deserves a win. So
yeah, it's. And by the way, Black Panther and Sinners, both Ryan Coogler movies. We have been putting it on the list as an option on the poll for you guys to vote for a tier list where we can rank Ryan Coogler movies, and you guys just don't pick it. Like, vote for it. I think Ryan Coogler has probably one of the best filmographies in all of Hollywood in terms of directors working. I mean, sure, on a volume basis, he hasn't done as much work as a Christopher Nolan, or certainly not like a Steven Spielberg, but I think the quality is there, and he's worked long enough, and he's made enough movies that I think we could have a really solid tier list there. So, uh, good question, Ron. I think it was always going to divide the chat because it becomes about personal preference. It's also kind of apples and oranges in terms of what
hmm
Sinners is and what Black Panther was, even
yep.
though both kind of deal with like black identity and race relations and
I
and
I what I
racism
really
and all
loved
that
about
stuff.
this
So
movie is
yeah,
that it wasn't like, for lack of a better term, black and white. Like you could have just
right,
easily made like Remick and the vampires just like, oh, bad guys, evil, terrible. I mean, they are still bad guys, but like
right,
it was not like villainous. It was like, because it's like the Irish dealt with their land getting taken away from them, their livelihoods, that dealt with their own kind of genocide with the potato famine, how the British didn't help them and all that, and so you had that and all that history like kind of burdened on that. I mean, it's not really like my pain and suffering of my ancestors is worse than it wasn't like it wasn't like that either, because it's like everyone like, oh, like who had the worst suffering, black people, Irish people, Hispanic. It's not like a pissing contest in regard to that. It's just different flavors of terribleness about how terrible humanity could be, and I like how that was explored, because it could have been very easy for Ryan Coogler to be like, black people good guys, white people bad guys, and it's so not that. It's so not just
right.
like, oh, it's good and evil. There's nuance there. There's more to it than that. Like, and there was a lot of like cultural aspects in regards to not just the black community but the Irish community as well. And I love how there was just so much more depth to it than I think someone of lesser experience would have gone for, and then we wouldn't be talking about it. However, what Ryan Coogler did, it wasn't so black and white. There was shades of gray, there was nuance, there was depth, and as you said, it's like a movie you
Yeah.
got to see multiple times to appreciate it. Like, not saying like, oh, you have to see it 5 times to give it a 10 out of 10. It's great the first watch, as someone who loved it on the first watch, but I think it also has like it just gets better and better. Like, the more
Yeah.
you watch it. And for me, the one thing that bothers me, maybe preventing it from putting I'm obviously it's like it's S. Like it'll be an S. Like,
Hmm.
but for me personally, I would for my list, I would maybe put it in A, because I know, I'm sorry, but before you kill me, it's just for me is
Yeah.
like there's a structural aspect that is like a thorn in my side, because it's like everything else about the movie is perfect or near perfect, but the
Yeah.
structure of it bothers me. How it feels like the first half of the movie feels like the first act, and then it feels like acts 2 and 3 are shoved in the back half, and it feels rushed. So you have the
I
first
actually agree
half that
with
feels kind
that.
of elongated, and then
Yes,
the
I
back
do
end is a little bit
agree with that. Yeah.
rushed. That's what I felt about Black Panther too, but Black Panther I feel had more flaws that prevented me from liking it more. While
Yeah.
Sinners, everything else is like, you had Michael B. Jordan, who was excellent. You had Delroy Lindo. You had Wunmi Musaka. You had Haley Steinfeld. You had Miles Caton. An amazing cast, and people I'm forgetting that aren't coming to my mind right now. The cinematography was beautiful. It was colorful, but it was creepy, and the use of shadows and light was like the sunset. He's like, oh, that was like the last time we were free. That was the last time I saw my brother. That was the last time I saw the sunset, and it was
Yeah.
getting chills just thinking about it. but it's a beautifully made movie. Its themes have so much depth. It like Ryan Coogler literally put everything. He put his mind, he put his body, and he put his motherfucking black soul into this movie. And I hate to that's not a bad thing. Like it's a culturally black movie, and that's great. I'm saying that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Don't call me racist, please. But like he put like everything into this movie. Like this is clearly a man. Like when you
That'd be
see, even
cool.
though I have those few flaws with it, you can tell even whether like I'm a guy who wants to be a filmmaker, so I've studied a lot of this stuff, so I can see clear. But I'm pretty sure even a normal quote unquote like a fan, just an audience member, can even see that of like putting just like every aspect of your fucking self into the movie, and it's like that's what I see in Sinners. Even though I have that one flaw that prevents it from being like a 10 out of 10 for me, I would put it like at a 9.5 maybe. But I see that with Sinners. I see that with my favorite movie of all time, The Thing. That is a movie where John Carpenter literally sacrificed his being to make that his magnum opus, and that to me just makes it one of the greatest horror movies of all time. And that's what I see in Sinners as well. That's what I see, and is like seeing that the second time is even though it was on a shitty player, it was buffering, and I was with other people that were commenting on it. It still was an experience that will remain culturally relevant, whether it wins or it doesn't win. It's going to People are going to remember this for decades, just like
Yeah.
how The Thing reached its audience way too late, but it still reached that audience decades later. And many say that that is one of not just one of the greatest horror films of all time, but arguably the greatest, and even one of the greatest films of all time. Sinners, whether it wins or doesn't win, is going to be culturally relevant for decades, maybe even generations if we're still here, hopefully. But I do genuinely believe that. Like, I'm not like, because like the term masterpiece gets tossed around too much. Everything's a masterpiece. Oh, this movie's a fucking, Honora's a masterpiece. Barbie's a masterpiece. Everyone's saying like about everything is a masterpiece. But
Well,
this is like, I genuinely believe, like, even though I
yeah.
fucking hate the fact that like the fucking structure thing bothers me
It
so
does bother
fucking
me
much,
too.
it's
Yes.
still just like I have to put it in, and like S for Sinners, right? S for Sinners. I'll just leave it at that. I've kind of gone on a little bit too long. Apologies, but
Well,
it's just one of those movies that like brings that kind of thing out of you, even though like I still like even though my top 20, this was number 20. It just goes to show like there were other movies that I liked even more than
yeah.
this. But honestly, Sinners I might bump it up. Like I might bump it up even more, because it's just like, again, as you said, it's like important, it's culturally relevant, it's yeah, it's a lot,
It's
and but a good sort of a lot, like a
yeah.
good a lot, yeah.
Yeah. It's not a perfect movie, but I think it's still, the bar is so high. Like we talk about like it's hard to make a good movie, but even when you make a good movie, there's oftentimes a lot of like imperfections we can point to. Um, and with Sinners, the one thing I will mention is everybody in every department of this movie, from the camera department to like the sound department to the grips to the actors to the director, to the post production team, to the VFX team, to the location scouts, to the folks, the hair and makeup, the set design, which all falls into production design, costumes. Everybody along the way in every aspect of this movie put out probably some of their, if not their best work of their careers. And like objectively, subjectively, some of the best work that Hollywood you would see from 2025. So when we're talking 2026 Oscars Best Picture nominees, I think there's very few movies. I don't even think there's any other movie in this Best Pictures, like top this 10 movies that we're talking about, that checks as many boxes of some of the best we have seen in any one of those disciplines that make up the art form that we call movies. And that's why it's got 16 nominees at the Oscars, and that's why I think it's a very good shot at breaking Lord of the Rings record for the most wins at the
Right.
Oscars of all time, including potentially, if not sweeping, then certainly winning the majority of the big six awards. I mean, The Departed was a great movie back in the day, but like I will always love The Departed. But like you said, the structure aside, it's also this idea of like there's no reason why every movie needs to stick with that traditional Hollywood 3 act structure. And I can vibe with that because like I've watched a lot of Bollywood movies. Bollywood movies today feel more like those 3 act structure movies that Hollywood like has been known for. But I grew up watching a lot of movies like foreign cinema, even like beyond Bollywood, where movies in other parts of the world don't always follow that 3 act structure, or not necessarily in the way that we're used to it. So I think like judging it against that as like some kind of de facto standard to me feels like maybe that if that's the only criticism we have, which again I think it is valid, it does feel a little off, but
Yeah.
maybe that's more of a maybe we need to sort of change our perspective a little bit in that sense. I don't think that's a good movie, by the way, Ron. I agree with you there. Lord of the Rings, by the way, I think was it Fellowship that won 12? Am I or which was it, or was it the Two Towers? Which of the Lord of the Rings? We actually did like a thing on this a while ago when we did our Oscars watch along, like a fun fact. But yeah, the record I think is 12 most Oscar
It's like 12 or
wins.
13, I think.
It's okay, so it's actually shared by Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, Titanic, and Ben Hur, each winning 11 Oscars. They all won Best Picture. So Titanic, Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, the 2003, and then Ben Hur, the 1959 Ben Hur, all won 11 apiece. So that record could be. I mean, look, if anything, it has a better odds of doing it because it's got 16 nominees. I mean, for example, Ben Hur, by the way, absolutely wrecked the Oscars that year. Like 1959, there were only 15 categories. They were nominated in 12 of them. I think there's what like 24 now at the Oscars, and Sinners has got 16 nominations. Titanic was not had 14 of 17 possible categories that it was eligible for. It won 11. So Sinners has got some good odds. With 16 nominations, like it doesn't need to win as high a percentage of its nominees to like get that record either. But yeah, Return of the King, that's the one. So, but ultimately, Sinners I think is every bit as deserving of the praise that it's getting, and
Hmm.
I think Ryan Coogler has earned it. And
Yeah.
also
It's a
beyond
movie.
just
I
the
would say it's a movie
filmmaking,
I respect a lot. Like that's
yes,
maybe respect more than I like. Like I'm not saying I don't like
yeah,
it. Again, I like it. I would even say I love it, but I respect it more. I respect it
yes,
more than I love it. I would
yeah,
go that
and
far.
the last thing I wanted to mention on Sinners is the deal that Ryan Coogler got with the studio Warner
Yeah,
Brothers.
it's
So with
coming.
Mike
He's
DeLuca, Pam
getting them
Abdi.
get the rights back in 2035, I believe. So
There's no
yeah.
other movie on this list. No other movie that came out last year that was made like a that was a studio picture that had anywhere close to the budget of this movie and made. I mean, and ended up doing as well as it did. That is ever gonna like revert back to the filmmaker in terms of the rights, which I think that is gonna age really well in favor of the filmmakers down the road, which is
Yeah.
why a lot of studio executives weren't happy about it. But like, I think so. It's revolutionary in many ways. Like we may not be talking about it as like the record breaking Oscar winning movie a few years from now, or like the revolutionary movie. Maybe the opinions will change. Sometimes opinions sour, sometimes people find the movie, it becomes a and it becomes even more loved over time. But the one thing we will definitely be talking about Sinners is that value that Ryan Coogler will have, because once he gets the rights back, he can license it off to anybody else. He can go make a sequel with another studio. Like he's gonna own the
I
movie.
don't think he
You
wants
know,
to be
I don't
fair.
think he
So
wants. I know he doesn't, and I know that that's what he has said. But I'm saying it sets the precedent now, and I think and not every like if another studio gives another filmmaker that same like deal, it's not gonna mean that movie they put out is gonna be a Sinners, and so there's no guarantee of success. But I'm just saying there's a lot of ways in which this movie is important that go even beyond the movie itself. So I think talking Best Picture, it's also got the odds in its favor right now because the momentum from the
hmm.
Actors Awards, with winning all the big ones, especially the big ensemble cast, which is their version of Best Picture. I think as far as a
Yeah,
nominee goes,
I respect
yeah,
Black Panther a little bit. but I
Easily, I
just don't like
think
it very much. But yeah,
Variety said it. Their prediction is Sinners is going to win Best Picture. So I would be
yeah.
surprised at this point. I don't think a lot of people are giving it credit that if it doesn't win, uh, I think there would still be a lot of people that would be surprised if
Look
Sinners
at this.
wins.
Look at it like this. Look at
But
it like this. Look
yes.
at it like this. How Green Was My Valley beat Citizen
Mm-hmm.
Kane. I'll just leave it at that. What's the movie that people call the greatest movie of all time?
Citizen Kane. Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
Although I know what you said was yeah, it was a not a
I haven't
question that was meant
seen
to be
Citizen
answered.
Kane or How
Yeah.
Green Was My Valley, so I can't
Yeah.
support
Rhetorical.
either
Yeah.
thing. But
Um. But yeah, you
yeah,
know what? Sinners. I think we've ranked it in
I
S
think we've talked
tier. We've
about it
talked
enough because
about
we
it.
have one more movie. That's
Yeah.
Train Dreams. That's the Joel
Yes.
Edgerton Netflix film, the other Netflix film
Yes.
outside of Frankenstein about a lumberjack in like the 1800s or something. And
Right.
yeah, supposed to be like a feel good
I
American
remember
dream kind of
like
movie.
when it first came across like my desk, like we were just researching for like stories for one of the podcast episodes, and then I like sent this to like Liz and stuff, and it just like sort of like came and then disappeared off the radar. um but it somehow like ended up like picking up enough momentum. I know like at least one person who has seen this. It's not, I mean, they weren't completely infatuated by it. I personally like, I think just kind of having seen a few clips of it, and I feel like it's a good enough of a movie. I think some of the critics have been saying there people are really sleeping on this. I would put it in A tier based on, you know,
Yeah.
the reception that has gone, the critics that I've read the reviews, the couple of people that I
All right.
know
I'll
who've
stick with that
seen
because
it.
Liz hasn't seen it. My dad loved it. He would
It's
probably put it in S or A tier. So
because
yeah,
because it's sort of it's not Yellowstone, but it has some of those themes in it.
the
And I mean,
themes.
yes. But I mean also Joel Edgerton, come on man. Like this man has somehow throughout his career gone under the radar. This has Kerry Condon in there, by the way, from F1 fame. Bill
Mm-hmm.
Patton, who I loved in that he was I loved him in originally that Alien show on TNT that Steven Spielberg executive produced. That who's the lead? Noah Wiley was in it from The Pit. I'm forgetting the name. Somebody will tell me. It was like an alien invasion show on TNT back in the day. Will Patton also was in that Josh Brolin Amazon show that got canceled when he was being considered for Lanterns. The Great or whatever that was. We've talked about it before. William H Macy's in this, and then of course you got Felicity Jones in this. The trailer for it very, very much intrigued me when it came out last year, but I mean, yeah, it's Brokeback Mountain vibes. I don't know if that's the best comparison, but uh, yeah, Monique saying if this is a Western, I might want to see it. It is. It definitely is in a lot of ways, and it's also not that. And it's Falling Skies. Thank you, Monique. I loved watching Falling Skies. Falling Skies and The Last Ship was a great combo back in the day. Speaking of course, Eric Dane passing away recently, but uh,
Yeah.
yeah, A tier. This is a movie that a lot of people I think have been sleeping on. It's the definition of a dark horse at the best picture category.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Variety said like it could win, would be a very big surprise in their could win
Yeah.
should win
So
article.
this
So
is our
yeah,
list. Nothing below B
yeah,
tier. We have F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, and Sinners in S. Marty Supreme and Train Dreams in A. Then Begonia, Secret Agent, One Battle After Another, and Sentimental Value in B tier.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
By the way, Train
let's.
Dreams is based on a novel, so you guys
Yes,
can
it's based on a
get the
novel.
book, read the book, watch the movie.
Um,
It was an acquisition for Netflix. They actually funded the making of Frankenstein, so that was more like a Netflix studio film. Whereas Train Dreams was they picked it up off the festival circuit. So
with this, we will go through what other people have said.
mhm.
We have F1, which is 5 in S, 2 in A, 2 in B, and 1 in D. Frankenstein, 6 in S, 3 in A, 1 in C, 1 in D. Hamnet, all right, now we're getting into. Okay. 1 in S, 2 in A, 1 in C, and 3 in D. That's crazy. Then you have Sinners, 10 in S, 1 in A, 1 in D. Monterey
Yeah,
Supreme, 4 in A, 2 in B, 1 in D. I think we all know who that D is. Train Dreams 3 in A, 1 in B, 2 in D, Begonia 1 in A, 2 in A, or 1 in S, 2 in A, 2 in B, 1 in D, Secret Agent 2 in A, 2 in B, 1 in D. Then One Battle After Another 3 in S, 3 in A, sorry, 3 in S, 3 in A,
Hmm.
2 in B, 1 in D, and then Sentimental Value 1 in S, 2 in B, and 1 in D. So the most
Wow.
votes are this Sinners, Frankenstein, F1, One Battle After Another in S, and then Marty Supreme, Train Dreams, Begonia, Secret Agent in A, Sentimental Value in B, and then Hamnet, poor Hamnet in D tier. That's crazy.
That's rough. That's rough. I don't
But then
know
the
because
average
come on,
is the only thing that remains in S is Sinners, Frankenstein, F1, and One Battle are in
universally
A,
beloved. Yeah.
and then the rest are in B. So yeah, I don't know why Hamnet's getting so much hate, but yeah, that's crazy.
You know what, Ron? Maybe it is just you that being here. It's not toxic.
We'll
But
see.
we'll
When
see.
there's still a week.
So,
There's still a
we'll go
week.
over the
So
votes next week, and if everything looks completely off, then that's still that. We don't want that spin.
yeah,
But I personally, in my list, nothing went below B tier either, and I don't think lists did put anything below
yeah.
B tier, which
She saw
which you would
everything except Secret
expect.
Agent and Train Dreams. My dad has
Yeah.
seen everything except Marty
Yep.
Supreme and Frankenstein.
But I
So
mean, you would expect that to be the case. Is the Best Picture nominees like these things are considered the best 10 movies of the year, at least by like the Academy of voting on it. So uh, they've narrowed it down from literally thousands of movies. By the way, Coda won in 2022, which I loved. I thought was very deserving. If Train Dreams wins, I think that
but
would
that
be
was
like the
more of an
closest
underdog
comparison.
choice, wasn't it?
Very much an underdog. And I think the comparison there would be Coda was a movie that Apple acquired. Then they kind of like really beat the drum about like the merits of the movie. I saw it like a special early, like there was a special. I got a special invite to see it from Apple, like and then like provide like a review and opinion. So it was part of like this testing thing, but it wasn't like they didn't make the movie; they acquired it, but they were like doing this uh research and work. So anyway, like, I saw it in that, and then I actually also then went out and watched it on Apple TV once it released on Apple TV. Uh, but Train Dreams would be like that. If Train Dreams somehow won Best Picture at the Oscars this weekend, it would feel like Coda in the sense that it was an indie movie that got acquired by a big distributor, and then they pushed it hard during the Oscar season. It gives Netflix two pictures. Just to quickly kind of review though, I mean Warner Brothers has great representation. Universal Pictures has between Hamnet and Begonia. You got some good ones there. A24 coming in with Marty Supreme. Um, I forget if a big distributor has picked up Secret Agent, which also would be, a worthy contender potentially to win if it does somehow. It's not very likely. I think that doesn't have a big name distributor, as far as I'm aware. That's like yeah, I can't really. I think it's on Hulu, but like I don't think it's like Disney bought the distribution rights to it. It's also like German Portuguese, so like it's not really an English language movie. Um, but anyway, I mean this is a great list. I mean, John, you look at it just to kind of wrap things up. You look at all of these Best Picture nominees real quick. I'm just gonna shuffle through them, but do you think this is one of the most competitive or best fields or an iconic, memorable field of movies, or do you think this is par for the course with a few standouts that you'll remember years from now?
I I don't know. It's just like I feel like you have a couple like really good ones and then
Mm-hmm.
like a couple weird choices. Like for me, I think the last strong year I can think of, probably 2019. That was like the last really good year I can think of off the top. Although I have heard 2023 was good. I would have to look that up, but
I mean, you guys let us know in the chat or in the comments which year do you think was really like any movie could have won and every movie deserved it? Because if
I
there's
would say I will
yeah,
say 2023 if that year wasn't just handed to Oppenheimer,
mm-hmm,
that was another strong year. You had Oppenheimer, you had American Fiction which was excellent, you had The Holdovers which was fucking excellent. You had Anatomy of a Fall
you're
which was
right.
really good. You have Killers of the Flower Moon
Yeah,
which was really good.
yep,
I've heard great things about Zone of Interest. Poor Things was just a porno. Maestro was Oscar bait. Barbie was the quote unquote prestige blockbuster. So I think that was a good good year, but I would say the last like amazing year was 2019 because that was like anything could have won. Like there were so many
Yeah.
really good choices that year. I didn't care for a couple of them. Like I wasn't a huge fan of Marriage Story, and I wasn't a huge fan of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But I think that was still overall a very, very strong year. I think this is a good year. Not amazing, but I think
Right.
it's a good year.
Well, I think the one strong point on this year's contenders is all 10 movies feel like very different from each other. You can't point to any two movies of these 10 and be like, "Oh, I can see like how these two are similar." You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of diversity in the choices, and that maybe speaks to the voter base, maybe it just speaks to the kind of movies we got. And maybe it just because again, I can't really think of a lot of overlap between any two of these movies. They're just so different, and it actually is a great representation of all the different genres that we would love to see. Like, there's more horror representation. You're still getting like there's a sports movie nominated for best film. John, forget the prestige blockbuster tag. It's a sports film. Like, how often do you see that? So like, there's a lot of good contenders. I think again, if I were to make my pick today, literally when we're doing this show is we're what is like 4 or 5 days away from the Oscars taking place, I would think Sinners is gonna win Best Picture at the 2026 Academy
I'm
Awards.
gonna say one battle after another.
Okay.
I want Sinners to win, but I learned a long time ago not to have faith in the Oscars, so I'm just gonna go with the movie that's been sweeping every other award show,
Yeah.
in addition to the movie I don't like. So
Other than the Actors Awards, where Sinners definitely won big. Uh, okay with the writing thing, Yash, we get it. But like, if you do the spamming thing again, then we lose the poll. Nobody's gonna get to vote on the tier list. So please, keep it in your pants, please. But yeah, Hamnet wins over Sinners. You're right. I don't think Hamnet's gonna win, but we'll see what is in the envelope when it opens on Sunday. Uh, Ron thinks it's Sinners. I wouldn't write for Hamnet. Yeah, I don't
but you
think a
know
lot
what
of
we
people really
could
care.
possibly riot for, Dan? The
Hmm.
next Fancast Friday,
Yes, I was
because
gonna say on that note, let's move on to talking about Fancast Friday.
we
Yeah.
do have a couple Monique Rupley was not a fan of this
Hmm.
poll, as
Can
she
you
says
zoom
in
in a
the
little
comment down
bit?
below.
Can you?
Um
Sorry, zoom. Yeah.
but yeah, we do have
Yeah.
MCU Harry Osborn, which was the
Hmm.
leftover from last week. Then we have Green Lantern stuff to talk about. We're like, we'll throw in the DCU Kyle Rayner because that's the next Green Lantern that has not been
Yeah.
cast yet. And then I decided, hey, Tim Drake, why not? Because we talked about Nightwing last week. Let's talk about Tim Drake. And then Christopher Dent has been, a character that's allegedly going to be in the Batman Part 2.
Bex. Oh, right.
The
The
Bex, the
father of
Batman
Harvey
epic
Dent.
crime saga, Christopher
The Harvey
Dent,
Dent father, who could be played by any one of Stellan Skarsgård,
Liam
Daniel Craig.
Neeson, fucking Daniel
It's
Craig, and all that shit.
every A-lister they could possibly think of, and then we're gonna get into like somebody like Kyle. No offense to Kyle Chandler, like we're gonna get, if the role ever actually, if it even is in the movie. But anyway, that would be good. I mean, there's a few names already that we can throw out there for that. That's probably why it's not getting a ton of votes, but it's also because a lot of people probably don't know who Christopher Dent is. Uh,
But
MCU
that was
Harry
like the
Osborn.
only other thing I could think of.
Yeah,
So
I'm surprised you used the Amazing Spider-Man version of the.
yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted to balance it out. Plus, I wanted
Yeah.
to people not to vote for the MCU Harry Osborn, so I went with the one that nobody likes. So
Well, so far, MCU Harry Osborn is winning, but there's not a lot of votes in there. So I'm gonna see if I can throw the link in the chat. By the way, the link to the Fancast Friday poll is in the description below in this video. So if you are watching live or after the fact, you can click the link down below. But if you are watching live, it's also now on your screen and in the chat, so you guys can click that link. It's in the community post sections of the YouTube channel. You can go there, vote for this poll, pick your choice for this Friday. Kyle Chandler was a great choice. You know what, Eric? It very much could be, and I think Kyle Chandler is a great actor in his own right. And I was exaggerating, obviously, but but he's also at the same time not an A-lister like per se, like Josh Brolin.
like Josh Brolin or
Right.
Ewan McGregor or Chris Pine.
Yeah,
They
or any
wanted
number
for
of
the role.
those other names that like they have the short Matthew McConaughey. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because True Detective. Like, why not just get Matthew McConaughey to play Hal Jordan? Then he's really True Detective in space, sort of. All right, chemistry test. I know. I hear you. They tested the chemistry test and stuff, and that mattered as well. Uh, but hey, look, Ron already voted. Fancast Friday comes at you in a couple of days' time. But we will be back tomorrow on Wednesday with DCU Daily,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be talking. I'm sure the latest from the world of DC, Marvel, Hollywood in general, award season stuff. But yeah,
So
thank you
thanks
for
for
watching.
watching, y'all.
Yeah, thanks for
Like,
tuning
comment,
in.
subscribe, vote in the poll, vote in the TLT if you have not already. So in the tier list. So yeah. Yeah, I don't think I couldn't picture Josh
Broil.
Brolin, but that's okay.
Who's Josh Broil? But yeah, you know what? I also have a couple of Emmys. I actually probably have more than if he was only got one. I got two. Kyle,
but yeah.
step your game up, buddy.
But make sure to like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you know when we go live, and we'll be back tomorrow for another DCU Daily.
Yes, we
and
will.
Until then, remember, don't be an asshole. Yash.